take this out? Sorry, you glued it in so it's easier to take them out. Should we take them out now so they're all ready for it? Yes, and we'll just get them all in order. How are you feeling?
I'm really scared.
You're okay. There we go. So that's 1 second. Doing the translation. Okay. Don't need that. We'll leave that there for now. So we've got that first. So we got that one first, haven't we? No, second. There we go. After.
And then we staple all of those through so it's easier to turn them.
You look absolutely gorgeous. Let me just something like that. Okay, I'm going to put that there because I need to eat that with you. Former shouts. Last weekend, was it 39? Yes. Okay, that's me sorted. We're all good to go. Yeah? Okay, let's go downstairs. Thank you. Okay. Is it? I'm not too sure that it is on. If it is on, is it on? I don't know that.
Testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Okay, you're going to need to go really close up to it. Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm going to start off with Yom Zel Yisrael Ora V'Simcha Ora V'Simcha Shabbat Menucha Yom Zel Yisrael Ora V'Simcha
Shalom to all of you, and we hope that this will be truly a Shabbat Menucha, a moment of rest and peace and tranquility for all of you, as well as celebrating this Shabbat, a joy, a light for us all as well, and of course for Hannah and her family in particular. We begin our service this morning on page 117, page 117. While you are finding it and while you are preparing yourself for this service, please note that most of the rules we have are absolutely positive. The only negatives are to make sure that you don't have your mobile phone on in any shape or form. But the positive very much is that you participate in this service, sing along as much as you can, read whatever you can. If it's in Hebrew and you don't read Hebrew, don't worry, just enjoy the sounds of it and just attempt a few sounds that you think might suggest themselves from the letters in front of you. Let them dance in front of you and out of your mouth. Let us now rise and let us begin our service on page 117. And together we read, "We thank you, O God, for this new day, for morning sun and evening star, flowering of tree and flowing of tide, for life-giving rains and cooling breezes, for the changing seasons, for the cycle of growth and decay, of life and death. We awake and behold a new day. O God, renew us unto life. Teach us to recognize your presence in creation. Grateful for your gifts, may we dedicate all our powers to your service. And we continue together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, pokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'asali kol tzorki. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanotein le'yayef koach. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hama'avir sheina me'enai, utnuma me'af apai.
Baruch Shamar v'haya ha'olam, Baruch hu. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, hamehulal befi amo, meshubach umvo'ar b'lashon chasidav ve'avadav, bishvachot u'biznirot negadalcha v'namlichacha malkeinu, yachid chei ha'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, melech mehulal batishvachot.
We continue. With the coming of the day and night,
I will enter the covenant of God, and when evening and morning depart, I will recite God's decrees.
God Most High, you are my righteousness. You teach me goodness. You are the fountain of knowledge, the dwelling place of holiness, and the summit of glory. Eternal might and majesty are yours.
I will choose whatever you teach me,
gladly accepting your judgments. As soon as I move my hands and feet,
I will praise your name. When I go out and when I come in,
when I lie down and when I rise up. When I rest on my bed, I will sing your praise. And in the company of my friends, I will praise you with the words of my mouth.
מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. להגיד בבוקר חסדך, ואמונתך בלילות. עלי עצוב עלי נבל, עלי היגיון בחינות. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך הרנן. מה גדלו מעשיך אדוני, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר לשמך עליון. מזמור שיר ליום השבת, טוב להודות לאדוני, ולזמר לשמך עליון, ולזמר
Rise together for Yishtabach. Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VeHaKadosh B'Shamayim u'Ba'aretz Ki Lecha Na'eh Adonai Eloheinu V'Elohei Avoteinu Shiru Shvacha Halel Vezimra Berachot Vehodot Me'ata ve'ad olam Baruch Atah Adonai Habocher B'shirei Zimra.
Page 135. Bearing in mind what hopefully was a vision of beautiful buds and blossom on your journey here to the synagogue, let us read together. We praise you, Eternal One, our God, Sovereign of the universe, Maker of lights and Creator of darkness, Author of peace and Creator of all things. In your mercy you give light to the earth and all who live on it, and in your goodness you renew creation continually, day by day. How manifold are your works, O God! With wisdom have you made them all. The world is full of your creations. Your handiwork proclaims your praise. The radiant stars bear witness to your glory.
We praise you, O God, Creator of light. Great is your love for us, eternal God, and abundant your compassion. Our ancestors trusted in you, and you taught them the laws of life. So be gracious to us and teach us. Incline our hearts to hear your words, to know and understand, to learn and teach, and with love to uphold the truths of your Torah. Enlighten us with your teaching. Make us faithful to your commandments and wholehearted in the love and awe of your name. For in love you summon us to serve you and proclaim your unity. We praise you, O God. In love you have called your people Israel to serve you.
Shema Yisrael,
Adonai Elohecha, b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol ma'odecha, v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele, asher anochi mitzavacha hayom al levavecha, v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam, v'shivtecha b'veitecha, u'v'lechtecha b'derech, u'v'shochtmecha u'v'kumecha, u'shavtam le'ot al yadecha, V'hayu l'totafot beinenecha, uktavtam al mezuzot beitecha, u'v'sharecha. Please be seated.
Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. L'shvan tizkeru v'asitem et kol mitzvotai, v'hitem kedoshim le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeiti etechem be'eretz Mitzrayim lihiyot lachem le'Elohechem. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem. Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai, Ani Adonai Elohechem.
Good and beautiful and true. Sound, established and enduring are these words now and forever. True it is, eternal one, that you are our sovereign God and Redeemer. As you were the God and Redeemer of our ancestors, you are our Maker, the rock of our salvation. We have known you always as our helper and our liberator. There is no God but you. Truly you are first and you are last. We have no Redeemer but you. You redeemed us from Egypt and freed us from the house of bondage. Then with great joy, Moses, Miriam, and all Israel together sang to you this song.
Mi chamocha b'nim Adonai, mi kamocha nedava kodesh norah. Tehilot osefele.
Shira chadasha shivchu geulim, leshimcha al sfat hayam. Yachad kulam hodu vehimlichu ve'amru.
Adonai imlok le'olam
na 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 Adonai. Na 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 Svatai Tivta. Na 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Na 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 Adonai. La 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 Svatai Tivta. La 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. La 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 Adonai. La 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 Svatai Tivta. La 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. La 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 Adonai. La 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 Svatai Tivta. La 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 Ufi Yagid. Ufi Yagid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora,
El
Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'koneh Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, U'mevi Geula livnei v'neihem, Lema'an Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, V'chayei metim atah Rav lehoshia, Mashiv haruach u'morid hageshem, Mazriach hashemesh u'morid hatah.
Lahachayot Meitim.
Baruch atah Adonai, Mechayei hametim. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam, Keshem shemakdishim oto b'shmei marom, Kakatuv al yad neviecha. Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzevaot, Elohim haaretz, Kvodo malei olam. Baruch kevod Adonai, Mimkomo. Mimkomcha malkeinu tofia, vetimloch aleinu ki mechakim anachnu lach.
Mimloch Adonai Elam, Elohai Tzion,
דור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. You may be seated. ישמחו במלכותך, ישמחו במלכותך, שורי שבת וכל העונג. המקדשי שביעי, המקדשי שביעי, כולם ישמחו ויתענגו מטובך. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו. והשביעי רצית בו וקידשתו. חמדת ימים אותו קראת, זכר למעשה בראשית.
Continue together. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu, b'tzei v'imnuchatenu, kadshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'tein chelkenu b'toratecha, sabeinu mituvecha, v'samchenu b'shuatecha, v'taheh libenu lo'ovtecha ve'emet, v'chanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, ve'achava uvratzon Shabbat kodshecha, yanuchu va Yisrael, v'kadshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai, Makadesh HaShabbat. B'tzei Adonai Eloheinu ba'amacha Yisrael. U'tefilatam b'havat kabel. Yiratzon tamid avodat Yisrael amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otecha levadecha, v'yira na'avot. Modim anachnu lach. She'atahu Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu, le'olam va'ed. Tzor chayenu magen yishenu. Atahu לדור ודור, נודה לך ונספר תהילתך, על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך וטובותיך, שבכל עת ערב ובוקר וצהריים. ברוך אתה אדוני, הטוב שמך, ולך נאה להודות. Grace, love, and mercy to us and to all Israel, your people. As a loving parent, bless us with the light of your presence. For by the light of your presence, eternal God, you have revealed to us the law of life, a love of kindness and righteousness, blessing and mercy, life and peace. For it is good in your sight that your people Israel and all peoples be blessed at all times with your gift of peace. We praise you, O God, the source of peace.
Say shalom, shalom v'romav, Uya say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'yirav
to page 481. Page 481 for our Torah service. There is none like you, Eternal One, among the gods people worship, and there are no deeds like yours. Your sovereignty is everlasting. Your reign endures from age to age. Please rise. Ein kamocha v'Elohim Adonai, ve'ein kamasecha, malchutcha malchut. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Gadlul Adonai Tiin Aromamo Shemo Yachdav. Let us magnify the Eternal One. Together, let us exalt God's name. Please be seated.
In the presence of this congregation, which represents the Jewish people all over the world, I give thanks for what I have learned of my Jewish heritage and promise to go on studying it in the years ahead, so may I come to understand ever more deeply and carry out more fully the duties that flow from it. I think of all those who, in past ages, have preserved the Jewish faith and declared their loyalty to it as I do today. I thank my parents and my family, my teachers and my friends, and all who have helped me to reach this day. And I pray to God, guide me and keep me strong, so that I may fulfill the high hopes that rest on me. Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu lazman hazeh.
Amen.
My Bat Mitzvah portion is called Pikudei. I'll be reading from Exodus chapter 39, verses 1 to 7. You can find it in the Chumash on page 629. It comes at a time where the Israelites were wandering in the desert after they had left Egypt. It describes how they built the traveling temple where they would worship and the clothes that Aaron and the priests should wear. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach leolam vahed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. And just in case your Chumash doesn't match up on page 629 with chapter 39, verses 1 to 7, we do have a couple of versions going around, so you might find it on page 682 as well, depending on the version that you might have picked up if you're a bit confused at the moment. Okay? But this is what it says.
Of the blue, purple, and crimson threads, they also made service clothes for officiating in the sanctuary. They made Aaron's holy clothes, as God had commanded Moses. The clothes were made of gold, blue, purple, and crimson threads, and fine twisted linen. They hammered out sheets of gold and cut threads of gold to be worked among designs among the blue, purple, and crimson threads, and fine twisted linen. They made attaching shoulder pieces with a matching decorative band of gold, blue, purple, and crimson threads, and fine twisted linen, as God had commanded Moses. They placed on the shoulder pieces lazuli gemstones, set in gold, and engraved for the signs of the sons of Israel. This was to remember the sons of Israel, as God commanded. Umin hatahilat, v'ha'argaman, v'tola'at hashani, asu bigdei sarad l'sharet b'kodesh, v'ya'asu et bigdei ha'kodesh, asher la'haron ka'asher siva Adonai et Moshe, v'ya'as et ha'ephod, zahav, tahilat, v'argaman, v'tola'at shani b'sheish mosar, v'raka'u et pehei, hazahav v'kitzet petilim la'asot, B'toh hatahilat, uvtoh ha'argaman, uvtoh tola'at, hashani, uvtoh hashesh, meseh hashev, ketefot asu lo, chovrot al shanei, kutzav tav hubar, v'heshev afudato, asher, alav, mimenu, hu, kma'asehu, zahav tahilat, v'argaman, v'tola'at, shani b'sheish mosar, ka'asher siva Adonai et Moshe. V'ya'as et ephod hasoham, abnei hashoham, musabot mishbutzot, zahav mefudahat pitihei, chotam, al shemot b'nei Yisrael. V'yasem olam al kitvot ephod abnei zikaron libnei Yisrael, ka'asher siva Adonai et Moshe. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'toheinu. Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen. Please rise. Step back so Grandpa can get there. So bend your knees. Just turn around and face the altar. Torah, le'hamo Yisrael. Bend back down. Please be seated.
Why am I wearing a dress? It's not as comfortable as my onesie, and not what I would normally wear. Why do we usually get dressed up for parties and weddings, or wear school uniform? When I was little, I liked to pretend I ran a cafe, and I'll throw people out for breaking my strict rules. I was never that into fancy dress. I did not run around as a Disney princess or dress up Barbies, but today, my portion is all about dressing up. In fact, my portion goes into exact detail about what the priest should wear. It repeats gold, blue, and purple yarns, which in Hebrew translates to Zahav, Tehelet, V'argaman. It talks about a golden breastplate with precious stones. It repeats these instructions over and over to emphasize how important it was to get these details right. The rules was as strict as those in my imaginary cafe. My portion, Pikudei, is set in a time where the Jewish people were still wandering in the desert before there were synagogues or the temple. So why bother with all the fancy stuff? Sometimes we wear things that make us feel good. When I put on the necklace I bought from Israel, or the one my papa gave me, it brings back happy memories. Perhaps the priests also dressed up to show how special religious occasions are and how valuable prayer is. And we see this today. That's why I'm in a dress, ashes scrubbed up, and there's even a rumour that my dad's changed his socks for the first time this year. But this is just what we look like on the outside. I've always believed that inner beauty is what's more important. I love being with my friends and family because they know it doesn't matter what you look like, just what you are like. Fashion is temporary, but being a beautiful person on the inside never goes out of style. The well-known Jewish scholar Alicia Beth Moore, aka Pink, said we should help people to change. They see more kinds of beauty. And this is something that I think is part of being Jewish and something I believe in. Perhaps over the thousands of years of Jewish history, we have come to realize this, and that is why our religious leaders no longer wear all the bling. Instead, we put the crown and the breastplate and the fancy clothes on the Torah scroll instead. So whether you've dressed up to date or if you come in your onesie is not so important. What matters to me the most is how you feel on the inside as you share this special day. But Dad, I do appreciate the change of socks. My Haftarah comes from the first book of Kings, chapter 7, verse 51 to chapter 8, verse 11. My Torah portion talked about the garments that were worn in the travelling temple. My Haftarah is set later, when the Israelites were settled in Jerusalem and King Solomon finishes building the temple there. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim b'ratzah v'divreihem hana'emarim ba'emet Baruch atah Adonai haboher b'torah uv'Moshe abdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nvi'ei ha'emet b'tzedek.
Amen.
When all King Solomon's work building the house of the Eternal was done, Solomon brought in the things which his father David had dedicated, the silver, the gold, and the cups, and he put them among the treasures of the Eternal's house. Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and the tribal leaders and the Israelite princes in Jerusalem. They were to bring up the Ark of the Covenant to the city of David, also called Zion. The men of Israel gathered before King Solomon at the festival of Sukkot, the 7th month, Etanim. The elders of Israel came, and the priests carried the ark. The priests and the Levites brought up the ark of God, the tent of meeting, and the holy articles that were in the tent. King Solomon and the community of Israel stood together in front of the ark, sacrificing so many sheep and oxen they cannot be counted. The priests brought up the Ark of the Covenant to its place in the inner sanctuary of the temple. They put it in the most holy place under the wings of the cherubim, whose wings covered the place where the ark was standing and hid the ark and its poles. The poles were so long that the ends could be seen out in the holy place in front of the inner sanctuary, but they could not be seen from outside. They are there to this day. There was nothing in the ark except for the 2 tablets of stone that Moses put there at Horeb, where God made a covenant with the people of Israel after they came out of Egypt. When the priests came out of the holy place, the cloud of God filled the house of the Eternal, so that the priests could not continue to stand and do their service, because the cloud of God filled the house of the Eternal. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam so kol haolamim zadik v'chol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer va'oseh hamdaber umkayem shekol devarav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah v'al ha'avodah v'al ha'nvi'im v'ayom ha'shabbat hazeh Shnata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'limnuha לכבוד ותפארת על הכל, אדוני אלוהינו, אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך. יתברך שמך בפי כל חי, תמיד לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת.
Amen. Shekoyach. Please rise. On page 484, we read together. Eternal God, whose dominion embraces the universe, we ask your blessing for our sovereign lady, Queen Elizabeth, and all the royal family, for those who govern our country, and all who influence the quality of its national life. Make them conscious of their responsibility and teach them to exercise it in accordance with your will. May we all help to fashion in this country a society that excels in freedom and justice, tolerance and compassion, so that it may be a force for righteousness and peace in the life of humanity. Eternal God, as you blessed our ancestors in generations past, bless now this congregation, its leaders and its members, and all who enter this synagogue to meet, to study, and to pray. Comfort the sorrowing hearts among us, and heal those in anxiety or pain. May we all find here community and friendship, renewal of purpose and hope, a deeper understanding of our heritage, and a sense of your abiding presence. Bless all congregations of the House of Israel throughout the world. Let those who live under oppressive rule soon be freed. And may we all unite to witness to your truth and do your will. And together, eternal God, our rock and redeemer, grant blessing to the state of Israel, created to fulfill an age-old dream and to be a haven for the oppressed. Inspire its leaders and citizens with faithfulness to the aims of its founders, to develop the land for the benefit of all its inhabitants, and to implement the prophetic ideals of liberty and justice. May they live in harmony with one another and in peace with their neighbours, and cause to come true once more the ancient vision, that out of Zion shall go forth Torah, and the word of God from Jerusalem. And on the following page, Yehalalu et Shem Adonai, ki niskav shemo levado. I'm so happy to be stood with you at this moment, Hannah. It truly has been a pleasure to work with you towards your bat mitzvah. But more than that, it's also been a pleasure to be and to share life with your family. To share life where we have really enjoyed being together, and also to provide comfort where it's been needed for each other as well. That is part of life. And you, Hannah, have grown into the sensibility of when you need some quiet space for yourself, to let that inner soul of yours express itself and not be concerned to allow it to do so. May you always have that strength of character within you to know what is good for you and also how to provide goodness for all those around you. I hope from this day you will speak out. Have the confidence to do so when you feel it is right. And together with your family and the rest of our families, bring credit to our Jewish community and humanity. And so we ask God to bless you with the ancient words. May God bless you and keep you.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God look kindly upon you and be gracious to you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka.
And may God reach out to you tenderly and bring you peace.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
Behold, a good doctrine has been given to you. Do not forsake it. It is a tree of life to those who hold it fast, and all who cling to it find happiness. Its ways are ways of pleasantness, and all its paths are peace. Please be seated. Yomzel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yomzel Yisrael, Ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat menucha. This day is for Israel light and rejoicing, a Sabbath of rest. And when Moses saw that they had performed all the tasks, as the Eternal had commanded, so they had done. Vayavarech Moshe otam. Moses blessed them. I was immensely struck by the pronouncements by European leaders that Europe would work through the weekend, if necessary, to work on a deal with the UK for the B word. But surely, they were entitled to some time off, a moment to recharge, to renew, and to spend time with those with whom they belong, their family, their friends and community. It feels as if we, have not had a break for nearly 3 years and are not much better off for it. At the conclusion of God's instruction for building the Mishkan, the tabernacle or portable temple, and everything that made it fit for purpose, including the clothing for the priests that Hannah read of. And at the outset of its construction, the Torah records that the Israelites were reminded to shamor v'la'asot, to observe and make the Sabbath. There is some sense of passivity to observing. In a sense, we can watch things happen. Even though we may need to have made some preparations and brought all of the elements of Shabbat together, still we observe. It is something that might happen, if we're not careful, somewhat mechanically. Making Shabbat demands a conscious effort, not a physical effort, but a conscious effort. To make Shabbat demands a downing of all tangible tools, engaged in what our sages identify as the 80 tasks, forms of making that were required to make the Mishkan. We are reminded twice about Shabbat, especially in association with the holiest of tasks, lest we be overly zealous and attribute physical holy work to God. No, God demands you rest, imitating and in some metaphysical sense, God can rest. We understand this sense of rest as at the conclusion of physical work, of making all the bits and bobs of the Mishkan. For then Moses blessed them. Of this, Rashi, a most important medieval biblical commentator, explained. Moses said to the Israelites, "May it be the will of God that the Shekhinah, God's presence, rest upon the work of your hands." And quoting the Psalms, he said, "Let the beauty of the eternal our God be upon us, and so doing may you establish the work of your hands." To me, this is the equivalent of us observing Shabbat. We do go through bringing together all the bits and bobs of Shabbat and observe the ritual, Kiddush. Families might recite benedictions, invoke blessings upon one another, as Moses, the mortal, a mere human being, blessed the Israelites. There's a further stage to the making of Shabbat, just as there was of the making of the Mishkan, marked in the Torah by Moses putting together and establishing the sanctuary as if it were one big jigsaw puzzle. The making of Shabbat is a final preparation of the sanctuary, which with no physical temple amongst us today is us. We are the sanctuary at the end of all the preparations that remains to be prepared. At that moment, V'achal Moshe et hamlacha, when Moses finished the work, Shachan alav ha'anan, the cloud, the Shachan, settled and rested. And kavod Adonai, God's presence, malei et hamishkan, filled up the sanctuary. This is the fulfillment of Moses, having invoked the Shekhinah, God's presence to rest upon us. Making Shabbat is not observation of a ritual, but the feeling, connection, belonging, the feeling that the Shekhinah literally rests on us. In a sense, feels God's rest literally falling upon us. No weights or burden, just the knowledge that it is there. Hannah, you have come to the completion of your bat mitzvah. You have observed a year of ritual that culminated, just as Moses did, by finishing the work. And you did a great job. Now may you truly feel God's Spirit resting upon you, allowing you to be, despite all the bundle of nervous energy there must be still in you, rest, peace, and tranquility. Shabbat, a day of rest, should not be seen as a luxury. Easy to say, and don't I know it. It is quite possible to observe it without making it, to go through the motions but then continue much as we have all the week long. It is much more difficult to make Shabbat, to desist from making things, and to make the space, the potential, to be filled up by God's presence. Eternal God, may it be your will that the Shekhinah, your presence, rest upon the work of our hands, and let the beauty of the eternal our God be upon us. May you establish the work of our hands upon us, and may your presence rest upon us, so that we may be your sanctuaries, filled by Shekhinah, allowing us a time of light and rejoicing, a Sabbath of rest. Yom Zel Yisrael ora v'simcha, ora v'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yom Zel Yisrael ora v'simcha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha. Shabbat, Shabbat menucha.
We'll turn to page 520. And on page 520, we'll join together for the Aleinu. Let us now praise the Sovereign of the universe and proclaim the greatness of its Creator, whose unity it is our mission to make known, whose rule it is our task to make effective. Who spread out the heavens and established the earth, whose glory fills the highest heavens, whose might extends throughout all space, who alone is our God, for no other exists, who in truth is our sovereign, for there is none else. As it is written, "Know then this day and take it to heart, the Eternal One is God in the heavens above and on the earth below. There is no other." Together, trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts, and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend, and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name let them give honor. Let all submit to your sovereign rule. May that time come soon and last forever. For ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever.
And it has been said, the eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day the eternal God shall be one and known to be one. Sorry, I didn't know if you were going to come in at that moment. We worship before you, O God. We think of those who once shared with us the joys and burdens of life and who are no longer in our midst. We recall the art sites remembered in our community of Alex Angel, the father of Sandra Greenberg, of Bessie Gross, the mother of John Gross, of Brian Allen Black, the father of Caroline Sampson, of Clifford Hyams, who began a legacy to start our adult educational trust, of Della Custo, the mother of Paul, of Evelyn Lawrence, the mother of Ellie Blatcher and Andrew Hearn, mother-in-law of David and grandmother of Jamie and Molly, of Henry Elton, the father of Gary, grandfather of Sarah and James and father-in-law of Ali, of Jonathan Benjamin Manson, the husband of Lizzie, father of Emily and Rebecca, brother of Michael and grandfather to Sam, Juliet, Ellie, and Josh, father-in-law of Ray and Paul. Morris Raynor, the father of Jacqueline Newman. Minnie Morris, the mother of Marcia Myers. And Philip and Karen Hope, parents of Vivian Dines and grandparents of Gemma Knight. As we announce the death this week of our member, Robert Brand. The sorrow of bereavement is softened by the bond of love which continues to unite us with our dear ones, and by our cherished memories of them which we will always carry in our hearts. May all that was good in their lives remain with us as an influence for good. O God, grant consolation to those who are in sorrow, and light to those in darkness. Teach us at all times to put our trust in you and to praise your name. As we two together over the page. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach yerutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'galau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mavarach leolam ulamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ah v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'tada, v'talei, v'talal, shemei d'kudisha, b'richu. Le'ela minko birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. De'amiran ba'alma v'imru amen. Hei shlama rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'yal kol Israel. V'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imroma. Hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'yal kol Israel. V'al kol b'nei Adam. Imru. Amen. May great peace descend from heaven, and abundant life be granted to us, to all Israel, to all humanity, and to all those who mourn. Let us say, Amen. Please be seated. Just want to find the music.
I'm gonna find it.
We now welcome our President Steve Herman to make a presentation to Hannah.
first, a secret, just in case you were worried. Dad has 365 pairs of identical socks. So I was struck in looking at this week's portion, how it's all about attention to detail, and how the attention to detail in making the clothing transformed the clothes into something beyond, into something with a ritual value. And I was just struck how you've transformed yourself, with the attention to detail in your portion, into a person of outstanding spirituality, really. I mean, we saw that came through in your women's portion today. I'm most impressed. Thank you. And so, to mark that, I'm delighted to give you here. This is a card from the congregation saying Mazel Tov, a voucher towards a trip to Israel in a couple of years' time, and finally, you may think it's boring, but I tell you, it probably is really. This is our High Holy Day Chumash, okay? And I set you a challenge, attention to detail. You've got to look through this, okay? Wait for Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur when you're bored. Find if there are any references to socks in it. Mazel tov.
Mazel tov. In our community, we look forward. In fact, you're all very, very welcome if you can get a ticket in time. Next Friday evening is our induction service for Cantor Tamara. We're so delighted to be welcoming her formally into the community on Friday evening at 6:30. If you haven't already booked online, please do that so that we know that we can fit you in. And on the Saturday evening, Cantor Tamara has organised a special concert. Do you want to say a few words about that?
Yeah, I'd love to. So in the span of only 1 hour, we'll be exploring the history of Jewish music from Sinai to my friend's living room. New Jewish music is being composed all the time, and you may know some of it, you may not. So we're going to explore the whole history of Jewish music in song in an hour. And I've got friends from all across the Jewish music world in the UK coming to celebrate with me. So please do join me if you can, and if you want any more information about it, come find me at Kiddush.
Lots of regular events going on in the synagogue, and one just to pick out is this Monday, where we welcome Rabbi Jackie Tabik to speak on the topic of Lily Montague. Those in our Kabbalat Torah class rated second most high, just behind Shrek and fund activities around it. Rabbi Jackie Tabik, who is the first female rabbi to be ordained in this country. And she talked to them about Lily Montague, and they were so inspired by it, not just girls but boys as well. They really recalled and held on to this moment as one of the highlights of their Kabbalat Torah weekend recently. So adults, please do come along on Monday evening to meet with Rabbi Jackie Tabik and her explanation of one of the founders of our movement, Lily Montague. There's a whole series as well coming up behind it, so do look in the newsletter and all the regular places to find all the details. But for now, let us conclude our service just across the page with Adon Olam. Adon Olam. Hashem alach b'terem kol yitzini v'le'ena נסע בחפצו, אזי מלב שמו נקרא, מאחרי ככלותו, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, והוא יהיה בתפארה, אדון עולם השם עליו, בטרם כל יציר נברא, נסע בחפצו, אזי מלב שמו נקרא, מאחרי ככלותו, לבדו ימלוך נורא, והוא היה והוא הווה, בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה, בתפארה, והוא היה והוא הווה, בתפארה. Please rise. Yomzel Yisrael ora b'simcha, ora b'simcha, Shabbat menucha. Yomzel Yisrael ora b'simcha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha, menucha, Shabbat, Shabbat menucha. Shabbat shalom. Mazel tov.